Today I have a very nice Void Warlock build that I've been enjoying using over the past couple of days. It's been very nice, enjoyable to use, and it flows very good into just any type of game style, grenades, melees, throwing down rifts, and it involves an exotic with a certain enemy that we deal a lot with in Lightfall, allowing you to hear certain whispers during certain activities. So a quick word from our sponsors and we'll get right into this video. Now, like my previous build video, we're going to go over our artifact mod unlocks first, and the first thing we're going to look at are our grenade and void mod authorization unlocks. This is going to decrease the cost of our void and grenade related mods, which play very nicely into this build. The next thing we're going to unlock is going to be volatile flow. Picking up an orb of power grants you volatile rounds. Now those volatile rounds are going to play very nicely into our subclass setup, and we're just going to use a ton of void weapons, so we're going to be spreading that volatility pretty much everywhere. And with my secondary weapon, my Hollow Denial, having repulsor brace, we're also pretty much always going to have an overshield as well. The next thing we're going to look at is bricks from beyond. Defeating a powerful combatant with a void weapon has a chance to generate a heavy brick of ammo for you and your teammates. Now again, this is very nice. We're going to be using nothing but void weapons, so we have a chance to generate a brick of heavy every time we defeat one of those powerful combatants, thusly giving us more ammo for our other void weapons. Again, I'm also using a commemoration LMG from the Deepstone Crypt raid because the Bray Inheritance perk plays into this very nicely. And the final thing we're going to unlock is void weapon channeling. Getting a defeat with a void weapon increases the damage of your void weapons with the amount of abilities you have. Have to have at least one void ability and you get a 10% bonus, all the way up to a max of 4 with your super, granting you a 25% bonus to your void weapon damage. Now because of this, you don't want to stack on void weapon surges, as they share the same amount of damage bonus that you get from this particular mod. So again, either run this or your weapon surges. I recommend this because then you can run whatever else on your legs instead of a weapon surge. Now let's go over our class setup, which is going to include Child of the Old Gods. Cast your rift to create a void soul. When you damage a target with a weapon, your void soul flies to them and drains them, doing damage and weakening them. When a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy if running a health rift, or health if running an empowering rift. Defeating a target who is being drained by your void soul grants class ability energy. Now this just helps play back into the whole theme we have going on for this build of just having basically as many void abilities as we want and need to throw at any given time, while also being able to sustain ourselves with survivability. And to help us with that, we're also going to run Feed the Void, which is just getting a void ability kill, grants us Devour. As for fragments, we're going to start with Echo of Cessation. Finish your final blows, create a void burst of damage that causes nearby combatants to become volatile. Defeating a volatile target creates a void breach. And again, we're going to get volatile rounds from picking up orbs, and we're going to get volatile rounds from another fragment later on. We're going to go over here in just a minute. Thusly, you can make a ton of void breaches, giving you a ton of class ability energy back that they give you, as well as you can get Devour from another fragment that we're going to go over as well. But to help us with that, we're also going to run Echo of Undermining. Your void grenades weaken targets with a -20 to discipline. With the exotic we are running, we are going to have a ton of uptime for our abilities, so the -20 is a hit, but it's not going to be too bad because again, our exotic is going to feed back into our abilities. We can get our Feed the Void to get off easier, and you can have Devour pretty much all the time and never have to worry about dying. We're going to look at Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. This is the other fragment I was talking about. We are going to have volatile rounds pretty much whenever we want them, by either picking up an orb or by getting a grenade defeat. We are going to have volatile rounds, and again, since my Hollow Denial has repulsor brace, we're also going to be getting an overshield, which is also extremely helpful. And finally, we're going to do Echo of Starvation. Picking up a void breach or an orb of power grants Devour. Now again, we want to have Devour up a lot, so this way we don't have to worry about dying. And it's very nice because this game did get quite a bit harder with the last update for Lightfall. So survivability is huge, survivability is key, so we want to have Devour up as much as possible. And with volatile rounds creating these void breaches, and now we can get Devour off of them, it is going to be a very nice cycle of just throw ability, get volatile rounds, and stay alive. So now let's go over the exotics that I'm using with this build to help us achieve that goal. And the exotic helmet we are running for this build is Nezerac Sins, which comes with the exotic perk Abyssal Extractor. Void damage kills increase ability recharge rate. This means any void kill we get is going to feed back into all of our abilities, including our super, giving us really high uptime on our abilities. Now, of course, this build can be used with any subclass, but I prefer running it with void, so this way I can double dip into my abilities feeding back into this perk and weapons feeding into this perk, again giving us really high uptime for this particular build. My exotic weapon of choice, however, is Traveler's Chosen, which comes with the exotic perk Gathering Light. Final blows with this weapon grant stacks of Gathering Light. Long press your reload to consume stacks, granting melee, grenade, and class ability energy based on the number of stacks. This is going to help us with that high uptime with our abilities, as we do get a significant chunk of our ability energy back when we consume those stacks. It also comes with the trait Gift of the Traveler. Each stack of Gathering Light improves this weapon's reload, handling, and target acquisition. So if you don't need to consume those stacks, you get a bunch of bonuses to this weapon. And finally, the Catalyst also helps us even further by giving us Osmosis and Surplus. Surplus feeding into the fact of the more abilities we have, the better stats we're going to get. And Osmosis, where throwing a grenade converts this weapon into a void weapon. Also feeding back into Nezerac Sins and giving us all of that ability energy back, while also giving us stacks of Gathering Light to consume, and it feeds in again, giving us really high uptime on our void based abilities. Now, for armor mods, on our helmet, we're going to run Ashes to Assets. Getting a grenade kill is going to give us super energy. This is helpful for getting our super back faster for the void weapon channeling mod that we unlocked on our artifact. We're also going to run Font of Wisdom, so when we do pick up an orb, when we get a stack of armor charge, our intellect is increased by 30, again, feeding into our super so we can get it back faster. And we're going to run Void Siphon so our void weapons can make orbs. We're running nothing but void weapons here, so we can make a ton of orbs. For our arms, we're running Firepower, so our grenade kills grant us orbs of power, so we can then also get our super back faster and feed into volatile flow off of the artifact. Bolstering Detonation, so those grenade damages gives us our class ability back, so we can throw out more Children of the Old Gods. And Font of Focus, because having the extra grenade is always nice, getting a plus 30 to that stat when we have a stack of armor charge. For our chest plate, we're going to be running Charged Up to get an extra stack of armor charge. And I ran resistance mods here, but you can run whatever you want. There are a lot of options in this particular slot for our chest plate. Legs, running stacks on stacks, so picking up one orb gives us 2 stacks of the armor charge for this new system, allowing us to have more stacks at any given time. Better already, just so we can get a little more health back when we pick up those orbs of power. Again, we don't really need this, so you can swap this out for any of those picking up orbs equals whatever energy back for your build that you want to run. I highly recommend swapping this out actually for the one that gives you melee energy, as there's nothing here really feeding us our melee energy back aside from Abyssal Extractors. And Void Scavenger, as we are going to make quite a few bricks potentially with Bricks from Beyond, so we want to get more ammo from those bricks that we do manage to make. And finally, on our bond, I ran Elemental Time Dilation, even though now it's just called Time Dilation, so that our stacks will last longer, so this way we get more benefit from Font of Wisdom and Font of Focus. And I ran Double Bomber when casting my Rift. I'm going to get more grenade energy back. Again, you can swap both of or one of these out for Outreach, and you can get more melee energy back instead, as again, there's nothing here really feeding into our particular melee of this class. But that is the video. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope everybody can get something out of this. Again, this build is really nice to use. You can use it on any subclass you want as long as you are running void weapons. So keep that in mind. If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe. We're pushing just past 600 now, which is amazing. Check that link down in the description for those day one Sherpas, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.